Today's big change guest is Laura Kreitenberga, the EMEA credit manager at Cabot in the beautiful city of Riga. This session is only about 15 minutes long, but we packed in a wide range of subjects from the Latvian lockdown to grooming challenges. Here's a taster of what's to come. Along the way, Laura does share her business experiences and suggestions for managing through these unusual times. Here we go then.
To be optimist, to continue the good spirit. I mean, also this time we will pass them, and it's gonna give definitely a very good learning for us, especially in credit management. I think what's happening now haven't happened maybe never ever before in history, so there is no one recipe, I would say. We are also still having different approach, based on customer previous experience with them and relationship.
Good afternoon, Laura.
Hi, Mark.
So how's it going there? Lockdown in Latvia.
Lockdown in Latvia, it's actually, I think, comparing to the other countries, looking at the statistics, it looks like we are in a good shape. I mean, our government, I think they made the right decision to lock down everything, like stop public events on time, and so we are lucky to have not that many cases comparing even to Lithuania or Estonia, our neighbor countries.
How's the virus impacted you personally and your company?
As soon as the government Latvian announced this how it's called situation, then we had a meeting in our company between the management, and we decided from next day to start working from homes. So all the employees could take, if they needed laptops. I mean, we are having 2 screens and all kind of. Even if some departments who needed to have a printer or scanner, some person could take it. So we don't stop anything. So we could work as the same, like we could work from office. Then now we are working from home.
Okay.
We have,
How are you finding the actual working from home as opposed to going to the office on most days?
I used to work time to time from home. Like my manager was very okay with it, as long as like it's not excuse that I'm not doing something. So when possible, I could agree with him to work from home. But now having every day from home, maybe it's a bit difficult. I still miss this office environment. Like to see the people, to see their faces, to have a coffee break, to sort some things. It's easier when you talk to person, and maybe a bit less private, this approach. But technically, it's going well. So I think it's already 6th month, or I'm not losing the time already at home, but I'm quite getting used to it.
So you're obviously you're working remotely, and how are you staying in touch with your colleagues?
By phone, but we do have like team meetings every week, once or twice. If needed, it can be more often, but typically once or twice per week we have team meetings. Even if we don't have anything like a job related to share, just at least, to be together, to switch on the video. We actually do it, also include the video in it. it helps a bit. So have the feeling of presence.
I suppose we should do some more business related stuff. So so what have we got here? So are you have you found much change with your customers? Obviously they're in a similar position to you, a lot of them, and have you found that any noticeable change with any of your customers, whether something is drastically different?
Yeah. Well, our company have actually there are 6 different businesses, and not all of them are really depends from the business to business the impact, but some of them it's quite huge, as some companies have closed their factories in Europe, so we are having less orders. So the revenue is reducing significantly in some of the businesses, and also we see already customers delaying payments, and when the collection team reach out to them, they're using the excuse that is due to the COVID and due to cash flow issues more often than usually. Yep.
How are you dealing with that then? Is there kind of a standard policy or different ways to deal with different situations? If you had an extreme case where someone says, we're just not going to pay you, is there some kind of advice maybe you could give to others as well?
In this case, we are reaching out to sales people, to the business team, so they are aware of this situation, and also discuss whether we should stop these deliveries. Upcoming orders. What do we do with this company, with this business? And the answer, it depends, because also with some of them we have long history, and they previously were good payers, and we don't want to lose the business. So in some cases we are in favor to extend those terms, but in some cases, of course, need to be more strict, and there is no one recipe, I would say. We are also still having different approach, based on a customer previous experience with them and relationship.
I think that's very true, and I think that's one of the skills of really good, effective credit people, is to know the difference between those that are perhaps manipulating the situation, those that are genuinely struggling right now.
Yeah.
And and it's so important to know the history of companies with your company, because those that have been around for 5, 10 or 20 years, these are companies that you need to look after and nurture.
Yep. Yeah, I agree totally. It's like to know your customer. It's very important. Just
there you go.
Get as much as information.
So that's a very nice reference to the e-learning, which you've taken advantage of some of the extra time you have recently, and you and some of your colleagues have started doing our foundation e-learning. Is there a particular way you're kind of organizing your time to do this, to do the e-learning?
Yes, for me it helps to book a time for myself in my calendar, that I'm reserving this time, that I need to focus only on this training, and that's basically it.
Okay, so to actually fix a time in your calendar and to be kind of disciplined with that and do it on every day or every second day or whatever works for you as the individual.
Yeah. It helps me. I'm not a planner. For me, it's a bit important to plan the time. I know how I'm especially in this situation, that recent some short notice additional requests from the companies coming, so I just need to book time better for everything.
Yes.
Plan it.
Is there any other kind of habits that you've changed personally since this isolation period? Maybe for introduce some good habits or bad habits that you've found apart from wearing your pajamas every day. So
Yeah, I noticed that I'm staying longer, like doing more than working hours than I would be in the office. So as soon as I realized it, and I thought, but I need to be more careful to stay healthy. I just try to don't if the working hours is finished, then I finish. That's it. No more, just one more email. No more this kind of excuses for myself. Like, okay, if there is only like really urgent case, but it's important to keep this balance between work and then private life.
Yeah, is this? I think this is an important, interesting subject for a lot of people. I think, and when you say you're working longer hours, is that because you're actually doing more work, or certain things have actually got longer in time, and you're saying, well, I'll leave that for 5 minutes and go and have a cup of coffee or look out the window and then come back, or are you actually just doing more things because you're kind of keeping yourself occupied?
Yeah, it's doing more additional, like with some changes in the company. I have a bit more responsibilities, so it takes a bit more time since I'm just learning how to do those things. And
That's the right answer, by the way, because your boss might be listening. So that was the right answer. But no, I think it's important that as where possible, we can have a separate space for working and our private lives, and as you said earlier, the time is kept fairly strict between, I don't know, 8 and 5 or whatever it may be for working time, and then there's a lunch break still in there, and from whatever time we decide to finish, you actually finish, and then go back into your kind of private life as we would do normally. You go out the office, you jump on the tram or your car, and then you go home and you do other things. So I think it's important to make that distinction, isn't it?
Yeah, for me it's important to have some changes in environment, like to go out a bit for a half hour. Also in a lunchtime, I try to spend some time a bit out. Well, for me it helps. I have a dog, so I need to take him out.
Well, that's a good excuse, isn't it? Take the dog out.
Yeah, it's a good excuse, and it helps me to stay healthy.
And those points aside, and knowing what you know from the work or private life and so on, what kind of advice would you share with your colleagues based on the last 4 or 6 weeks or so?
My advice is to be optimist, to continue the good spirit. I mean, also this time we will pass them, and it's going to give definitely a very good learning for us, especially in credit management. I think what's happening now haven't happened maybe never ever before in history. So we don't have a perfect recipe, but definitely we will each work out our own ways, and then we can share with each other in next Credit Matters conference.
Nicely put. But yes, I think I'd like to think that one of the things that we take from this is that we don't take things for granted in future. I mean, perhaps people like yourself of a certain kind of age group, shall we say, haven't really experienced a crisis before, and now it's kind of happening. Albeit this one is unprecedented. There's regularly financial crises and recessions and so on every 10, 12 years. So I'd like to think one of the pluses is that people like yourself that are going through your career as young managers will kind of think like tomorrow there could be another black swan or difficult situation that we just couldn't anticipate. So we always need to be on our guard and keep our house in order, keep our collections in shape and so on. Do you agree with that?
Totally, Mark.
Good stuff. Okay, listen, Laura, it's been as always, it's a real pleasure to talk to you, and I thank you for taking time out of your work day to participate in this interview, and give my regards to everybody in the lovely city of Riga, and stay home, stay safe, and I'll speak to you soon. Take good care.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I always enjoy talking to Laura, and you can meet her and all our other Big Change guests as well at our Credit Matters conference in September this year. We're hopeful that the conference will continue. To summarise, I can't add anything better than to repeat Laura's advice: be optimistic and stay in good spirits. Until next time, thanks for listening to the Big Change podcast.